Good Senator ready to go. It is U.S. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. We welcome her in from Washington, D.C. Good morning, ma'am. How are you, sir? Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. She's on the phone.
Yes.
Good. How are you?
We are good, and actually we're not in Washington. We're in Mississippi. We're headed to Picayune, Mississippi today to meet with some city leaders down there, county leaders, and a lot of business folks. So we're in state working today.
Well, if you filled up the vehicle, which I'm sure you did, or the pickup truck, one or the other, you found out that even in Mississippi the gas prices are killing us.
Oh, my goodness, Paul. It is amazing. We were talking about the cost here on the farm this morning, and just unbelievable. We sent a load of cattle to Kansas, and it cost $600 more than it did just a few weeks ago. And, the fertilizer from $600 a ton in September to $980 is what we paid yesterday. I mean, it is incredible what the Biden policies are doing to this country. Incredible. And, we feel it right here. Everybody's feeling it in their businesses and in their pockets.
Senator, I read a tweet from, I think, Charlie Kirk a little bit earlier this morning. He basically said that there's going to be a shortage, or there is a shortage now, of synthetic fertilizer, and if we can't get that, then it's going to be harmful on our overall food supply. So, I mean, is that something that you've heard as far? I know you just mentioned as far as the cost, but is that cost because of the supply chain, or is it overall just a shortage itself?
Mainly natural gas cost and fuel cost. Obviously, when you transport things, it's going to add to the cost.
Yes.
It's going to add to the end product to the consumer.
There are several. One of my questions is this, and I wish it were so, but it's not. If Donald Trump was still in office, do you think this would have happened as far as $3.15 to $3.50 a gallon?
Oh, absolutely not. The pipelines would not be shut down. And, it is just good energy policy for domestic production. And here we are depending on Russia and OPEC now, begging them to send us petrol. It's absolutely crazy. And the answer to that is no. We know what the economy was doing under the last administration. We know what we were enjoying in growth and prosperity, which has come to a screeching halt. It's a sad, sad day to do this within a number of months. So it's really easy to compare. And, I don't know what they thought would happen when they did that, but they're backpedaling a little bit now, but pretty much on most things unapologetic, very unapologetic.
I don't know where they're backpedaling that much, but, I mean, even the president said there's some things we could do and we're contemplating, but he's been contemplating for about as long as he sleeps or spends time in Delaware. I mean, the number one thing is to call on the energy reserves those reserve tanks of fuel that we have. If he did that, and just drawing from experience, when there is a viable threat to unleash some of that storage and that inventory, the people at OPEC and other places see that and they get on board. So why keep talking about it? Why not go in and get it done?
That's a very good question, because it would, he's gotten us here so quickly, and it's not going to be an easy fix to undo. And even if they were working to undo it diligently, like you said, they're hesitating, they're delaying. I don't understand. And his approval rating is, unbelievable. It is like, and Kamala Harris's is less than that. I mean, we're talking 30% approval rating here. I think I would be trying to do something, working much harder to try to improve things. And the election in Virginia should have told them a whole lot. People are fed up with this. They are fed up with the policies. They're fed up with being, just watching this country deteriorate. It has to be intentional. That's the only answer.
You can't be that stupid. I agree with you 100%. I mean, you take things like the debacle on the $450,000 to the illegals. There was a Rasmussen poll of 1,000 U.S. likely voters. It was conducted November the 4th through the 7th. Today is the 10th, so this is very recent. let's see, the Federal Department of Justice reportedly negotiating payments to settle a lawsuit, et cetera, et cetera. Fully 57% of voters said the U.S. government should pay nothing. 60% of white, 58% of non-black minorities. 57% of voters said the federal government should pay absolutely nothing. So by a majority of 57%. 14% think the range of 50 to 100,000 would be appropriate. But that's only 14%. So a majority of Americans think paying illegals for this is ridiculous.
Well, key word here is illegals. A criminal act happened. They came into this country illegally. So, that's what our office is hearing from so much right now. And I was in Jackson yesterday, and I saw a lot of people. It's like, please tell me this 450,000 is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, it's not going to take a vote for it to happen, but no one can justify that. And you just think, who's the man behind the curtain? Who decided this was a good idea? Where did this figure come from? We can go on and on right now of bad policies of the Biden administration. It is absolutely, I've never seen anything like this. And, I've been through Kavanaugh impeachment. I've been through COVID.
Yeah.
I've been through January the 6th. You can't compare this to anything this country has been through before when it comes to let's just destroy the economy.
Do you know, if you start thinking about this, that, and I'm not sure people have added this to the legacy of something I call the Bizarro Book of Biden Blunders, because it's just bizarre, but you can add this to it, that he said, I want to bring America together. I want to be the one that gets the left and the right together and all of this. And then the story yesterday is that he said he's just absolutely irate at the Republicans. The most prominent left-wing members of the Democrat Party have been recently silent on key tax provisions. They haven't brought that out. But what he said, I've never seen anything like this, Biden said. It's got to stop for the sake of America, talking about the Republicans maybe, there's a rumor that they would be stripping some committee chairmanships from some of the Republicans who voted for the infrastructure bill on Friday, and this is in the House. And he said something, I've never seen anything like this, and I thought, are you kidding me? The Democrats got a black belt in throat cutting. But
oh yeah,
let me ask you, you voted against that bill, and so did most of our delegation over in the House. Senator Wicker voted for it. What did you not like in that infrastructure bill? And I understand there's a lot not to like.
Well, I voted against it. First of all, we're talking about $1.2 trillion. That was not bipartisan. It said it was. We had such little input in that, and it's not fiscally responsible, and it will increase, obviously, our nation's debt. And, the CBO, everybody talks about Congressional Budget Office. What does the CBO say? They're estimating that it will add at least $256 billion to the deficit over the next few years. And so, I just believe this legislation is not the most fiscally responsible way to fix roads, bridges, waters, and electrical grids. We need significant repairs. We needed a true infrastructure bill. Now, everybody says that, it's not as much as we first came out with. Well, that was the plan. You throw something absolutely ridiculous out there, and then you still get something a little less ridiculous, but nonetheless, it's still unbelievable. This money is going to flow into Mississippi, and, it's worth understanding that, there will be strings and regulations tied to the use, because the Biden administration, they link everything to climate change. And these infrastructure projects, they're going to be treated just like that. Yeah. As we talked about.
Could you hold on for a moment? We've got a break coming up, and I want to ask you also about Bennie Thompson and the letter that he sent that may, I'm not sure where it, is it going to be a snafu in the Yazoo Pumps? We'll ask the person who does know about that, and that's Cindy Hyde-Smith. We return to the Gallo Show in the Trustmark Studios with Cindy Hyde-Smith, U.S. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. We were talking about, we weren't talking about it, but I wanted to broach this with you as far as where do we stand and what's going on with Bennie Thompson and his letter that may cause some type of snafu as far as the Yazoo Pumps are concerned. What's the update on that?
Well, the letter's dated August the 30th. The second letter is dated August the 30th, 2021. And basically, he's demanding an investigation under Trump's EPA's handling of the Yazoo Pumps. And, there were two different projects. There was one in '08, and this is a completely new project. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to, make sure that things that applied to the old project are applying to this project. And it's two different projects, not even in the same county. And, this story was released, and it reported claims made by two career staff at EPA, two, one of which happened to be the point of contact for EPA's 2008 final determination.
Yeah.
And, the previous administration ignored science surrounding this project, is what they're saying. And the decisions regarding the pumps project were driven politically by political appointees. This is absolutely ridiculous. I completely disagree with all of this. I mean, the project opponents, they've seemed to have forgotten that the Corps' final environmental document, which, by the way, is 2,500 pages of the latest current science, data, statistics, you name it. And we've got two people that have decided that they don't agree with something, and it is causing this. And, I mean, I have no idea why Congressman Thompson wrote this letter, but, I mean, he has thrown a hand grenade here. I think that we're going to maneuver around it because we've had to maneuver around several things that he's created, but that is a good question for him. And, why should all the Corps experts who participated in the new study, the new project, which is legitimate, we've gotten approval, and, why should they take a back seat to two EPA career staff that they're trying to get someone to listen to them? But, you talk about politics. The Corps decided to come up with this new proposal because, obviously, we have much better equipment to have data that is so scientific, so accurate and precise, and it was literally previously unavailable, and especially when it comes to wetlands data. Mm-hmm. And, in addition to the devastation caused by the flooding over the previous 10 years, the 50-plus scientists and engineers who prepared this document are career personnel also. So we're talking 50 scientists and engineers that have signed off on this.
Here's the problem that most of us have here, because Bennie Thompson has been pro-Yazoo Pumps for the most part. At least he's spoken for it. So why would he throw this hand grenade other than there's a power play, he wants bigger involvement or something, or he just hates Trump and wants to go after Trump? But I know it's going to be injurious of the people in his district for the most part. So why would he do that?
That is something you're going to have to ask Congressman Thompson. Paul, I have worked so hard on this. Mm-hmm. I have spent hours, miles to get us where we are, and just have celebrated that, we are where we are. We've got the letter from Mary Walker, the previous EPA director, of approval. We've done everything absolutely right. If I intentionally wanted to kill something, I would probably do something like this. But who in the world wants to intentionally do something like that?
It is bizarre.
Especially it represents, his district. And, the EPA has been right. They determined the new project is not subject to the final '08 final determination, which people keep trying to bring that back. But, taking a step backward at this point, it's just a huge environmental injustice to the minority, the low-income Mississippians, the folks that live there. This administration's, all I have heard out of this administration is their highest priority is promoting environmental justice. You talk about environmental injustice if this happens. More than 71% of the area is minority, 30% living in poverty, 71% minority, 94% of the homes that would no longer be subject to this one-year flood are minority occupied, 94%. So if you're talking about environmental justice, do what your lips are saying.
That's what makes it so bizarre. Quickly, we're almost out of time. I wish we had more time here, but And I wanted to ask you about the H.R. 1 still floating around in the Senate with what's going to happen to that, and also a couple of other things. We'll just have to do it on the next get-together, so don't be a stranger. When you're in town, please stop by. We appreciate the time you've given us.
Thank you so much, Paul.
You got it.